And we're live. All right. This is my 2024 year in review recap and greatest takeaways. And I'm doing it live on my YouTube channel and live on Instagram. And I'm doing it live because it makes me super uncomfortable. And it's not scripted and it's unedited. And I just want to get it out so that I can move on and enjoy my day. But it's also an important point in the documentation process, just to reflect and review, because it's been one heck of a year. I think about where I was at the beginning of last year, and on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, I had it in my mind that I wanted to send a centralized theme of the year. And my word of my year last year, 2024, was send it, send it. And if you Google the meme, send it, you will see this hillbilly guy. I think he's from Canada, in this Canadian tuxedo. He's got all denim and he's on a snowmobile and he's just sending it. And he's like going over these crazy jumps. And it became an internet meme of send it, just send it. And the idea behind it is that, the distance between the insight, the idea, and the action you take can be momentary or it can become a prison. And I wanted that to be my theme of this year, where I just went after things that were meaningful and important, because I don't want to spend all my time just thinking about it. And I think the greatest distance that you guys don't get to see in the world of social media and influencers and Instagram and all that stuff is that us on the other side, the creators, content creators, there are so many edits that we put out before we actually give you the content. And for me, my mindset behind it all is I really want to give you guys something valuable. I'm going to share the lessons and the takeaway. And so there's this editing process that happens, whether it's in the written articles, in the long form content, the podcasts that we put out. We're going through a refining process to perfect it for you. But inside of that process, there's also a lot of stuff that just doesn't make it out. And so I just wanted to be open and honest. And at the end of the year, give you a recap that is completely unscripted. It's a little bit outlined, but to encourage you that if you're sitting on something, man, just send it. You got one day left in the year. Review, reflect, and take some time to plan and prepare for next year. So with that being said, biggest wins from last year across my 4Fs: faith, fitness, family, finances. First and foremost is I got married. I met my wife, Ms. Stella, and she is absolutely incredible and amazing. And we met and got married within a year. And I'd say that is one big area that I sent it in, and I couldn't be happier. It is already just proven to be such an amazing relationship, truly connected. Just through just the what we get to build together. She has been such a blessing in so many different ways, and I'm so grateful to have met her in this season and to have the wisdom of so many great men in my life to give me great insight on how to be a high value husband. And so I'm grateful for this season, looking forward to what we get to build together. JiuJitsu, fitness focus, has been very dialed in. Did 5 tournaments this year, got gold in 1, which super stoked about. Several of my clients did new levels in their overall growth inside their business, launched new companies. It's a lot of domains in the finance category I'm excited about. Bought a house in Texas, which was a big send it. Sold my house in California, which is a little bit of a bummer, but made sense for this season. We did 36 podcasts of the High Value Man season 3 with Josh. And that was such a great opportunity for us to build and deepen our relationship together. Near perfect attendance with the Men of Light Friday morning men's group, Saturday morning Mighty Men as well. Completed year 3 of the Path, a 12-month discipleship program with Mighty Men. I wrote every single day, but I probably only posted about 300 out of the 365 days last year. Had over 800 some odd Zoom meetings, which is just crazy to think about. And, had a lot of time to reflect on probably the biggest lessons. The biggest lessons of last year, 2024, is that first and foremost, we overestimate what we can do in a year. And so I said yes to so much. And so one of the biggest lessons that I'm leaning into this upcoming year is to say yes to less, but do more with excellence. And I think that is such a good lesson to take away. Think about the Probably the biggest lesson, though, that I'm sitting on and reflecting on is that there are still so many things that I didn't send it on. And as the centralized theme for the year, I really wanted to shorten that distance between the insight and the action. And I think it's only in the deployment, the action, that we get the feedback from the real world where our theories turn into something we can actually test. And it's no longer just the fear of something happening or not happening. You actually have to do the thing to get the feedback of whether or not it works. As soon as you take the action, you get the correction from the world and you can start to make adjustments. But if you just stay stuck as an idea, an unspoken philosophy or a way of thinking, you end up becoming your own worst critic. And I think about how many lost dreams and lost opportunities happen, not only in my own world, but anyone else's world, where they just spend too much time thinking about it. And so the purpose of this end of the year recap and why I'm doing it live on YouTube and live on Instagram is to flex that feeling of sending it, but also doing it in such a way where it's not edited. There's so much of our life that we focus on editing, and you're never really going to get the feedback on whether or not it's actually a promising thing to spend some time on unless it's put out there. How many great artists out there, musicians, anybody that you admire has simply put out the bad content or the bad plays, and through that process, they get refining it better. So what I'm taking into next year, I haven't picked out my word of the year yet, but what I'm taking next year is to shorten the distance between the insight and the action so you can continue to refine the process. So all that being said, things I'm looking forward to in 2025. It's a much shorter list. First and foremost, I am going to only pick one primary mission for each of my 4 domains: faith, fitness, family, finances, so that I can accomplish it with excellence and be proud of actually doing the thing by the end of the year. With my faith, the big thing is going to be service. And so we're doing our very first High Value Man missions trip coming up in just a few weeks, going to El Salvador for almost an entire week with a few other men inside of HVM and a couple of guys outside of that. We're going to do a week-long in the streets discipleship, get guys off the street, help to love them, serve them, and give them an opportunity to rebuild their lives. And so I'm really looking forward to that. From a fitness standpoint, my primary focus, as it was this year and for this upcoming year, is JiuJitsu. I'd like to continue doing competitions, 1 per quarter, to refine that practice and get a little bit better through the challenge of doing something hard. And then the second part of it is, man, I want to progress towards, an upper belt. And so really focusing on continued refinement inside that discipline. That's really my main focus. When it comes to family, I'm now a married man. And so, prioritizing the relationship and continuing to pursue and date my wife. And we both have talked about it that, starting a family towards the end of 2025 is, on the plan, but God willing, that is the major focus for this year is, pursue and date my wife. And then finances, there's so many things that I want to do in business, but what I learned in this last year is that less is more in anything, in everything, right? And so you can take on more clients, or you can take on a few and really help them reach levels of excellence. And so the main focus for this year is going to be the HVM movement. We're kicking off a 40-day mastery challenge, really refining the content and curriculum. Probably the greatest thing that's happened over the last 3 to 4 years is this curriculum and this vision, this revelation. I don't know any other way to describe it, but I've had this incomplete picture that's now becoming much more complete of a process. And I'm excited to take that process and put it out into the world and share it with you guys over the course of the year. So there's going to be a morning mastery challenge we got coming up here in about a week or so, and then just continued refinement of the HVM core curriculum, the 6 V's: vision, values, victories, voice, vice, and vocation, to help you uncover and discover and become the man that you're designed to be, but to live it and to practice it. But that's my recap, my 2024 as a whole. Like, to give myself an overall fulfillment score, and it'd be like a 3.8 out of 5. It was a really, really great year, and I'm so grateful and blessed for it. But the biggest lesson is to close the distance between the insight and the action, because it's only when you deploy the thing, you do the thing, you face your fear, do you actually get the feeling, the promise on the other side of it. Otherwise, you just spend too much time up here. That's all I got. And I want to encourage you on this very last day of 2024, no matter where you are, if you're on Instagram or on the YouTube or on the email list, you'll see this later, is to take some time to reflect, review on your wins, your biggest wins, and then take time to actually reflect on your lessons, not your losses, but your lessons. And how will you improve in this upcoming year to take consistent action to move yourself forward in every single domain, your faith, your fitness, your family, and your finances, so you can live a life of fulfillment, but also lead those around you. Be the leader, be the lighthouse, and be the high value man that this world so desperately needs. Much love, many blessings, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Boom. Signing off. Peace. Oh, we got to end it. And we do that with this end stream button. Well, stop me. End.